Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of the Road to Legend playthrough, Descent Journeys in the Dark 2nd Edition. We are going to start Battle Round 2, or Hero Turn 2, and we will jump right into it. So I think for the first activation, we are going to use probably Grisban the Thirsty, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 1, 2, 3 fatigue to move before I take my actions, and that'll cap out his fatigue at 4. So he's no longer able to use any fatigue. But I'm going to use him now to attack the goblin archer in front of him. So with his steel broadsword, he gets a red and a blue. And the goblin archer, this one, is going to get a gray. So we will roll and see what we get. Alright, so we've got 3 and a shield, so 2 damage go through. And this goblin archer is dead. So with his second action, he's going to hit this goblin archer right here. Same dice. And he gets 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1, so he kills him as well. So, actually not on them. Alright, no surges. I was hoping to get surges because then he could heal himself, but no matter. That's his first action. His first turn is over, and we can end his turn now. Okay, we will now end his turn. And the vargas are up. So let me explain why we're going to have to actually use vargas. So in the initial spawn of this map area, we were supposed to spawn a vargas group. So based on the amount of players, 3, or amount of heroes, we were supposed to spawn 2 regular and 1 master. So we only spawned 1 regular. And I'm going to add, to get us back up to speed, I'm going to add 1 and 1. And it also said to add them to 8A on the map, even though it was showing like a symbol here. That's 9A, 8A is over here. So I'm going to add 1 master and 1 regular vargas to the map. So that way I can now activate that group. And we'll go from there. So the vargas have a howl effect. It affects heroes within 6 spaces instead of 3. And for this activation, we are activating the minion vargas. So his first action is to attack a hero. There's nobody adjacent. The second is to use howl on a hero, and we will use it on Grisban the Thirsty. So to use howl, the vargas force a hero to test willpower. So we know that we're going to use a black and gray. And Grisban needs to roll less than or equal to his willpower, which is a 3. So he rolls 5, so he fails terribly. So that means he takes 1 fatigue loss, right? Yeah, suffers 1 fatigue. So he's actually going to take a damage because he's got no more fatigue left. So he's up to 11 wounds now. So then the last action, spot as many heroes as possible. So he's going to move so that he can spot all of them. And I think from here, he can spot, I don't know if he can spot her from here, but I think he might be able to. Probably make more sense if he was up 1. Probably here, I would think. So we'll put him here. And that activated all the minions. Now the master vargas is going to engage the closest hero. They have a movement of 4, so it's 1, 2, 3. He's going to go here, and then use howl on at least 1 hero. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's going to hit both of these guys. So they're each going to have to test. So Grisban will test first. He rolls 4. He fails. He takes another wound. He's up to 12. And then Abric has got a 4 willpower. He rolls a 4. He passes. So that is it for all of the vargas. And now we get to heroes again. So we'll activate another hero. Okay, for our next hero activation, I'm going to spend 3 fatigue tokens on Jane Fairwood and move her 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. And for her first action, she's going to shoot at this goblin archer. So I will use her U short bow with a blue and a yellow, and I get 1 gray defense die for the archer. And we roll, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds with a 4 range. I only needed a 2 range. He blocks 1, 3 go through, he dies. So her first action was to kill him, and she did it. Her second action, I think, will be to attack this vargas. So she's going to roll the same 2 die. The vargas gets the same defense die. So she will shoot at him, and we get 5, 6, 7 range, but he blocks 2 of the damage. So none of it goes through. So, I mean, I could spend another fatigue to get a surge to add 1 damage to the attack, but I don't think it's worth it. So we'll end her turn here and see who goes next. End turn. So the goblin archers now go. So all the minions are dead, so we can hit that. So now we just have the master goblin archer. So he gets +1 surge for each attack. And for each surge a monster does not spend, it gains 1 movement. Right? So let's go through his actions. First thing is to spot the closest hero. So I think he doesn't have line of sight here, so he'll come up here. Attack the closest hero, then retreat. So he's going to shoot it at him. So his attack is a yellow and a blue, and we know that Grisband the Thirsty gets a brown and a gray. So he's going to attack, and he's a miss. So Grisband doesn't get hurt, then he retreats, so he's going to jump back here again. Then if within 2 spaces of a hero, perform the move action and retreat again, but he's not. He's within 3 spaces. So that finishes their activation. And now we go back to our final hero, Abric Albright. Alright, so Abric is going to try and take care of the banner of Til Karik. So this is what's spawning these goblins on this map. So he's got to test his willpower. He's got a willpower of 4. So we're going to go ahead and roll a test of 4 willpower. And we get 1, 2, 3. And there's a +1 shield for every goblin archer on the map. There's 1 goblin, so it's 4. 4 is what his willpower is, so he passes. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we could have done strength or willpower. I probably should have done strength with Grisband. I didn't realize I could have done that. So either way, we passed. So we passed the test. And the goblins shriek and flee at your success. Discard this token or remove goblin archers from the map. Wow. So all the goblins have been chased away, and all that's left are these vargas. Sweet. So we get 1 more action with Abric Albright. Okay, so Abric's final action is going to be to take a swing at this vargas. Right? So he gets a blue and a yellow. Vargas gets a gray. So let's do our attack here, and it is a miss. So that ends that. So his activation is over. Alright, we are in a new round, and we get to activate a hero again, so let's get to it. Alright, I think we'll start with Grisband the Thirsty, and the first thing we're going to do with his first action is use an item. We're going to use his T-Val Crystal. So exhaust this card and roll 1 red power die and recover hearts equal to those rolled. So we'll start off with 3. So he's going to heal 3 hearts. So he will go from 12 down to 9 damage, which is good because now he's not on the brink of death. Next action is going to be to swing at this vargas. So he's going to get a red and a blue die, and the vargas gets a gray. and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 2 is 2. 2 damage go through. The Barghest has 6 health. It's going to take a little bit to get through this guy. So his turn is over. Barghest. Alright, so minion Barghest. Each hero who is adjacent to a Barghest and suffers 1 fatigue from Howl also suffers 2 wounds. That's not good. So let's go to the minion. Alright, so the minion is going to engage a hero who is not adjacent to another Barghest. Well, he's already done that. He's going to use Howl. So Howl normally has a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. So he's going to hit all 3 of these guys. So all 3 of them are going to have to test. So we'll start with Abric, who has a willpower of 4. He rolls a 4. He's good. Jane has a willpower of 2. She rolls 3. She's bad, so she's going to take 1 fatigue damage. It brings her to 4, and she's going to also suffer 2 wounds. And now we go to Grisban, who has 3, and he rolls a 2, so he does not take any damage from the Howl. And that activation, the Master is going to spot as many heroes as possible. So he's going to have to move up here. And then he could see everybody. And then he's going to use Howl. So he's going to do it again. So let's start with Abric. Remember, he's got a 4 willpower. Wow, he rolls 7. So he's going to take a fatigue and 2 wounds, which is not good. We'll go to Jane. She rolls a 2. She passes. We go to Grisban. He rolls a 2. He passes. Alright, so that wasn't too bad. All Barghests activated. Now back to the heroes. Alright, we are going to start off with Abric. He's going to spend 2 fatigue, he's up to 3 now, to move here. And for his first action, he's going to cast the Prayer of Healing, and that's going to cost him his final fatigue. But he's going to choose himself an adjacent hero, and he's going to roll 1 red power die. And he gets a 2. And then choose the chosen hero recovers health equal to Heart's roll. So he's going to heal 2 health off of Grisban, and he's going to heal 2 health off of himself. He didn't roll any surges, so he doesn't get any of those effects, which is a shame. So that's his first action. His second action is going to be to hit this dog. So he's going to roll his 3 dice. And he missed. Always misses. Alright, so he is done. So his turn is over. Alright, his turn is over. And now we move on to Jane Fairwood. Alright, so for our next activation, we are going to move Jane. She's going to move her full distance of 5. So she'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then her second action is going to be to shoot this Barghest here. So she gets a yellow and a blue and a gray for defense. And her attack is... He blocks 1, she gets 1, 2, plus 1 is 3, and he has 4 health, so he's going to take 3 damage. 2, 3. And her turn is over, so let's end her turn. Next round. Okay, for our first hero activation, we will use Grisban the Thirsty, and he's going to go after this Master Barghest. So, we will refresh his crystal, and we will use his steel broadsword to attack. So that's a blue and a red, and we will use a gray defense die for the Barghest. So we roll it up, see what we get. And we get 3, 4/5, a surge -2 shields brings us to 3 damage plus a surge. He's got 6 health, so 3 damage plus a surge gives him +1 damage, so that's 4 damage. So we'll put all 4 through and kill him. So that Vargas is now dead. So that was his first action. His second action, however, what do I think I want to do? I might rest with him. Now, what I think I'll do... You think it's worth it? Well, no. I don't think I should rest. Because he's not going to get a heal here, so... whatever. I'll rest with him. So I will recover all 4 of his fatigue now that his turn is over. So he is refreshed. And I will end his turn, and we will move on to the next activation. Alright, so that was Grisbane's turn is over, and now the Vargas go. So the Master Vargas is dead, so we skip him, but the minion goes, and he's going to spot as many heroes, and then howl on at least 2 of them. Alright, so every hero is within range, so we'll just roll for all of them. We'll start with Jane. She's got a 2, and she rolls a 5, so she's going to take fatigue and a wound, so she's actually going to take 2 wounds. We're going to roll for Abric, and he rolls a 1, so he passes, and we'll go for Grisban, and he rolls a 1, so he passes. Alright, so that ends the Vargas activation, and now we will go to our next hero. Alright, I think with this action we're going to attack this last remaining Vargas with an arrow. So Jane is going to fire on him. He gets a gray defense die. She has 3 range, is enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Damage goes through, so he is more than dead. Alright, so we cleared out the last Vargas. And that was her first activation. And I believe her second will be to rest. So she's going to rest and gain back all of her stamina as well. So she's done. Okay, so we killed this Vargas group, so they are defeated. And Jane went, so we'll end her turn. And now we just have Abric. Alright, so for Abric, he's going to go 1, 2 with a move and then do a search action on that. Okay, so we have a half open barrel and he's going to search it. Discard this token and draw a search card. Alright, let's do that. Okay, so we will draw the top search card and we get a stamina potion. Flip this card over during your turn to choose one hero on or choose your hero on or an adjacent hero. That hero recovers all stamina. So actually this is perfect. Okay, so now that Abric's turn's over, we end it. It's a new round. And it is the hero's turn, so I think we need to move on to the next area. Alright, so I think we will take Jane and move her 1, 2, 3 spaces and then open that door and see what we have. Oh, we have to place tile 12B and 1 door. Okay, I've added tile 12B and a door at the end like it says. And place 1 objective token face down. So we've got an objective token here in the lava. As an action, adjacent hero may test strength or willpower to claim this banner. So that is another goblin banner. Now we spawn an archer here, an archer here, minion archer here, and the master here. So we'll continue. I want to place an elemental group on 12B. Okay, so we will be spawning elementals, and according to the card, with 3 players or 3 heroes, we have to spawn 1 master elemental. So we will spawn a master elemental. Right. We'll put him right here, I think. So that's going to get ugly. Alright, so that is done. So we will hit continue. Place 1 search token as shown. So I need to add a search token. And what's next? Nothing. Setup is complete. So that is the end of her turn. So now the goblin archers are going to get a shot, which is not good. Okay, the master goblin is going to attack a hero within 6 spaces with the highest space. That's going to be Jane, and he's going to get 1 blue and 1 yellow, and Jane gets 1 brown and 1 gray defense die. So let's see. He rolls 1, 2, 3, and 2 surges, and she blocks 3 of that. So each surge is worth 2 damage for one of them. The other one gives him range, so he's going to get 2 damage is going to go through. So she's going to go up to 6 damage. And then he's going to, if within 2 spaces of a hero, perform a move action, retreat, and then immediately end, but he's not, so he's going to actually get another attack and then retreat. So he shoots 4, I block 2. And she goes up to... So if you suffer any amount of damage from an attack, you may choose to suffer some or all of it as fatigue. So she has no fatigue, so she's got 6 wounds. 2 go through, so I'm going to take 2 of that in fatigue so it doesn't knock her out. And he is done. Okay, so the minion goblin, so he's actually, the master is going to retreat, it says, so he's going to go here. And each of our minions are now going to get the same attacks, so they're each going to get 2. So I'm going to start with this guy. He's going to, if the attack a hero within 6, so he's going to do his attack first. And he rolls 2 damage, she blocks 1. But 2 go through, so she's going to take that as fatigue damage as well. So she's going to go up to 4 fatigue. Now, if he's in within 2 spaces, he's going to retreat and then end his turn. So he's going to pull back 1, 2, 3 next to him. So he's done. This guy doesn't have line of sight, so he's not going to fire at all. And this guy, I think he does. His actually goes through to her. So he's going to get 2 attacks, so we'll do that. First attack, he rolls 1, 2, 3, 4 damage, but 3. 1, 2, 3. But they get plus 3 range this round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. 2 damage goes through. He'll take 1 in health, 1 in fatigue. Which he'll take. And then he gets 1 more attack. And we get 1, 2, 3 minus 2 is 1 damage. So 1 goes through, and she'll take that and damage. So she's got 8 damage, but she has 9 health due to her chainmail, so she's still alive. And they're completely activated, so they're done. So now we have our other heroes to go. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so Abric is gonna go, and he's gonna use his stamina potion, and it's gonna recover all of his stamina. And what he's gonna do is he's gonna run to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3 in stamina. He's going to pay, and then he's going to use his 4th stamina to cast the Prayer of Healing on Jane. So with the Prayer of Healing, he rolls 1 red power die. He gets a 2. She heals 2 health. 1, 2. And his turn is over. Alright, so his activation's over. So we'll end his turn. The elemental goes. So there's no minion. There's only a master. So after each elemental's activation, it uses air. So he's going to spot the closest hero. So he's going to move down to here so we can spot her. He's going to attack the closest hero in line of sight. So he gets a blue and a red. And she gets a gray. So hold on. Alright, so he's going to spot the closest hero and attack with a blue and a red die on Janet. So he gets 1, 2, 3 and a surge. And his surge, I'm not sure if he has them. No, he doesn't have any surge activity, so that's good. So he just goes through for 3 damage. She blocks 2 of them, so she only takes 1 damage. That's not too bad. And she's back up to 7. If within 2 spaces, he would move and retreat, but he's not. So now he turns in the air, so they can't hit him. But his turn's over, so now we go to our last hero activation. So Grisbane, he's only got a movement of 3, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he's up. With the crew, he's going to use his trinket this round and roll 1 red die. And he gets 2, so he'll heal himself for 2 more health. And I think that is it for the heroes. End his turn. Oh, and we get a vargas group spawning down here. Alright, so we bring in 2 minions and a master. So I guess we could bring them in down here. Alright, that's done. We will continue. Place 1 goblin archer adjacent to the banner. So we'll bring in another goblin archer. And we enter a new round. So that's the end of the round. This is how the board looks. It is not very promising. So as you can see, this is very difficult. But the app tells you everything you need to know. So this is just with the core set, so everything is basically pretty straightforward. But I think that's as far as I'm going to take this run through, and we're gonna tie it up here, and then I will finish the rest of this off camera. And but I hope you got the general feel for what the app does as far as being able to play Descent, solo without using any of the print and play campaigns, expansions that they put out. So. But that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. If you haven't subscribed, please do so.